Hello everyone, today we're going to look at solving equations using comparisons. In these problems, we're going to be given information about two or more things that are being compared. In order to find the values, we need to have the same number of equations as we have unknowns. So for our first example, a farmer has a total of 24 sheep and horses. If the number of horses is 3 less than twice the number of sheep, how many sheep and how many horses does the farmer own? So the very first thing we have to do is decide on what variables we're going to use and what each of them stand for. So I'm going to let S be the number of sheep and H be the number of horses. And then I'm going to look at the information that I'm given. So the first sentence says that I have a total of 24 sheep and horses. What does that mean mathematically? Well, if I add up the number of sheep and the number of horses, which is S and H, I should get 24. Then I look at the next piece of information. The number of horses is 3 less than twice the number of sheep. So I need to translate that into a mathematical equation. So the number of horses is 3 less than, remember I'm going to subtract 3, that's what 3 less than means, twice the number of sheep. So H equals 2S minus 3. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute this into H. So instead of H plus S equals 24, I'm going to get 2S minus 3 plus S equals 24. Okay, so here's my original S, and this whole thing is my H. Now I have one equation and one unknown, and I can solve for it. So if I simplify the left-hand side, I have 3s minus 3 equals 24, and s should be 9. Once I have s, I can plug it back into my equation that's h equals. So h equals 2 times 9 minus 3, which is 15. The next step I want to do is check it. You should always, always, always check your answer. And I'm going to check it using my first equation. So is 15 plus 9 24? Yes. The last thing I'm going to do is my question has words. My answer should also have words. So my answer is there are 9 sheep and 15 horses. Let's try another one. Bob has 3 nieces. The oldest, Sarah, is 4 years older than the middle, Michelle, who is also 4 years older than the youngest, Lynne. If the sum of their ages is 30, find the age of each niece. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my variables and label them. So S equals the age of Sarah, M equals the age of Michelle, and L equals the age of Lynne. Do not do something like S equals Sarah. Sarah is not the unknown. Her age is the unknown. And then when I get something like S is 4, Sarah is not the number 4. She is a person, right? Her age is, in theory, 4. So make sure when you're putting your variables down, you're writing what they actually are. My variable, my unknown, is not a person. The person is known. It's their age that is the unknown. Okay. So, ignoring that, we have the sum of their ages is 30. So the sum means I'm going to add them. So if I add S and M and L, I should get 30. Next, I'm going to go back to the second sentence. The oldest, Sarah, is 4 years older than the middle, Michelle. The oldest, S, is 4 years older, so I'm going to add 4, than the middle, who is Michelle. Michelle is 4 years older than the youngest, which is Lynne. So M equals 4 plus L. Now, when it comes to substituting these in, I have a value for S. I also have a value for M, but if I replace these the way that they are, I would have 4 plus M for S. I'd have 4 plus L for M, and then I'd have my L. I would still have 2 unknowns, so that's not helpful. So what I'm going to do is, since S is in terms of M, I'm going to rewrite this equation so that I have L in terms of M. Okay, so that both of my equations have M on the right-hand side. So now when I plug it in, I have S is 4 plus M is M, and L is M minus 4. And now I only have one unknown, which is my M. Okay, so again, I'm going to simplify. The 4's end up canceling, and I have 3M equals 30. So M is 10. Plug in M into S equals 4 plus M, and I get S is 14. Plug it into M for L, and I get that L is 6. My next step is to check it. Is 14 plus 10 plus 6 equal to 30? Yes. And again, at the very end, my answer should be a sentence. Sarah is 14, Michelle is 10, Lynne is 6. Okay, let's try another one. A bowl contains red poker chips and blue poker chips. The total number of poker chips is 50. If there are 5 more than twice the number of red chips as blue, find how many of each color there are. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is choose my variables. So I'm going to let R be the number of red poker chips and B be the number of blue poker chips. I know that the total number of poker chips is 50, so R plus B has to be 50. Now the next sentence says, if there are 5 more than twice the number of red chips as blue, blah, 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 blah. So whenever you see more than, and then something that comes after it, that is the thing that you are adding to your 5. If it was less than, then whatever comes after the than is what you would be subtracting the 5 from. So whatever comes after more than, that's what you're doing the addition or subtraction with. Some people find it difficult when it's worded this way to figure out which one am I adding the 5 to. Is it the blue or the red? So whichever one comes directly after the than. So blue is 5 more than twice the red. And then again, I'm going to substitute this in for my B. So R plus 2R plus 5 equals 50. Simplify the left-hand side, and then solve. And we should be getting that R equals 15. Once I have that, I'm going to plug it back into my second equation to find B. So 2 times 15 plus 5 gives me 35. Next, I'm going to check it. Is 15 plus 35 50? Yes. And then my answer. There are 15 red and 35 blue poker chips. All right, let's try one more. Mark has 15 pairs of socks. They're black, white, or gray. If the number of pairs of gray socks is 3 less than the number of pairs of black socks, and the number of pairs of white socks is 2 less than thrice the number of pairs of black socks, find how many pairs of each color Mark has. So again, first things first, I'm going to label my variables. B equals the number of pairs of black socks, W equals the number of pairs of white socks, and G equals the number of pairs of gray socks. We know that there are 15 pairs of socks, so B plus W plus G equals 15. And then the next sentence says, if the number of pairs of gray socks, G, equals 3 less than the number of pairs of black socks. So G equals B minus 3. And then the next part, the number of pairs of white socks, W, equals 2 less, something minus 2, thrice, 3 times, black socks. So W equals 3B minus 2. Both of these have B's on the right-hand side, so when I go to substitute it in, I'm only going to have B's in my equation, so that's really nice. So my B, my W, whoops, nope, that's G. G, W, I kind of did it out of order, but that's fine. So B plus B minus 3 plus 3B minus 2 equals 15. Clean up the left-hand side. 5B minus 5 equals 15. B equals 4. Plug it in. 4 minus 3 is 1. Plug it in for W. We get 10. Check it. Is 4 plus 1 plus 10 15? Yes. So my answer, Mark has 4 pairs of black socks, 1 pair of gray socks, and 10 pairs of white socks. Okay, make sure that you always check your answer. Make sure your answer makes sense. And just practice. So, read the book, try out the homework, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.